Hey, and welcome to Board with Life News for September 13th. Today I'm going to talk about Pandemic Rising Tide, Havoc Aftermath, Netrunner, Star Wars Destiny, and the Kickstarter for Stephensons Rocket. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board with Life News. Up first, as many of you guys know, I am part of a Dungeons & Dragons actual live play podcast, whatever you call it, with the cast and crew of Board with Life. We recently completed our previous campaign that lasted like 2 years of podcasts and have started a new one. So this is a great place for you to jump in if you've been curious but you didn't want to jump in 50 episodes into a thing. We're only 2 episodes in right now, so you can totally catch up, no problem, really quick. It's called XP Academy. We're all teenagers in a kind of like Harry Potter, Naruto, whatever style school for gifted heroes, basically. It's an adventurer school, and we are trying to survive and graduate the XP Academy. It's a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of all the different player characters we came up with. It's funny, it's D&D, so definitely check that out if you're at all interested in it. There are links in the show notes, so yes. Also, I'm going to be doing, in the next couple weeks, my top 10 most anticipated games coming out at Essen List, so definitely subscribe or check back if you're interested in that, because that's kind of, you see kind of the hotness that's going to come out of Essen through my point of view. So if you like the kind of games that I like, it's a really good way to find out about all the new games, because I go through that huge list of hundreds of games and pick out kind of my most interested ones. Alright, into the news. Z-Man announced Pandemic Rising Tide. They actually sort of announced this like 2 weeks ago, but it was right around the same time that Hurricane Harvey hit, so they pulled it to be respectful of Hurricane Harvey, and then I guess they just went like, it's hurricane season, Irma's hitting, whatever, we're going to announce it anyway. Kind of unfortunate timing. But they are donating, I think, $5 of every pre-order to hurricane relief, so that's a really nice gesture from them. Anyways, this is Pandemic Rising Tide. In it, you're building hydraulic engines to prevent the Netherlands from flooding and building infrastructure, stuff like that. So it's not about diseases, but it's the same sort of system. The thing that has a lot of people kind of most excited and curious about this that I see is Jerome Domin, who co-designed this with Matt Leacock, is one of the guys from Splotter Games. And Splotter generally does heavy games. He co-designed Roads and Boats as well as Food Chain Magnate. So people are really perking up at that because Splotter is very well regarded in terms of design. So yeah, exciting to see this kind of team up, exciting to see what it's going to be. It's another pandemic game, so it's kind of a little bit hard to get excited about it if it doesn't have legacy after it, but it looks pretty good. Portal Games announced Havoc will be getting its first expansion called Aftermath. This is going to be coming out at Essen this year. In it, it's going to be adding in new universal structures, new faction structures, new leaders, and new scoring events, so it seems like quite a bit of stuff to change the game up. I actually own a copy of Havoc. It's up there. I don't know if that's out of frame, but unfortunately I've never played the game. It's still in shrink. That was one of the games that I got at Christmas last year when I got like 10 different games, and it was tough. And it also, I got it at the same time as Innis, and they're both kind of like quick playing area control games, so it was a little bit... I did Innis, and whatever, not because I think it's better than Cravaack, because I've never played Cravaack, I don't know. So maybe this will be a really good excuse for me to finally get that off my shelf and get it to the table. Fantasy Flight Games announced a revised core set for Netrunner. This is not going to include any new cards, so if you already own all the core sets and stuff, then you don't need to buy it. It is going to contain some cards, mostly, from the original core set, as well as cards from the Genesis Cycle and the Spin Cycle data packs. I think the two main reasons they're doing this is one, to attract new players by having kind of like a new shiny product on the shelf. Hopefully people will jump in. And two, I might be wrong because I'm not in this world, but I think their competitive play, their tournament stuff, I think you can only use the core set and then the most like the 2 years most recent of data packs. So by revising the core set, they're able to like update kind of a bunch of cards that you can now use in tournament play again that have been out of the cycle for quite a while. So it seems like a kind of smart way to do that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Fantasy Flight making more money. In other Fantasy Flight double-dipping news, they released Star Wars Destiny, a 2-player set on 4th Friday. So Star Wars Destiny originally came out almost a year ago. And originally you had a light side pack and a dark side pack, and you had to buy both of them if you wanted, you know, to have 2 players worth, basically. Now they've put both of those in one box. You buy one box and you have a 2-player game. This is going to actually have new cards in it. So this is a little bit like, because it's going to have new versions of characters such as Captain Phasma, Kylo Ren, Rey, and Poe Dameron. I thought this was just going to be alt artwork for them, but no, it's actually new different cards. So if you want all the cards and you want all the characters, you have to buy the pack or buy these in the aftermarket. So that is a little bit like, because I actually play Destiny, so I don't play Netrunner, so I don't really care about that. But Destiny I play, so this was like, you could have done alt art and people still would have bought it to have the alt art, but I wouldn't have because I just want gameplay. But now I have to buy a thing that I already own 96% of just to get... I shouldn't play it. That's the solution, is you shouldn't play collectible card games. This week's Kickstarter is for Stephensons Rocket. This is another pair-up between Grail Games and Rainier Knizia. Grail Games has done a really good job in the past, like, year or two. They've been reprinting a bunch of Knizia's games with really nice updated artwork, some streamlined rules and components, stuff like that. So this is just kind of continuing that trend. This one's especially exciting because this has been a well-regarded Knizia game for a long time, and it's been out of print for 18 years. Most other Knizia games have come in and out of print, so even if they're out of print, they haven't been out of print that long. So this one is pretty awesome that they're bringing it back. It's a train game. You're rail barons, you're investing, and you're building train tracks. Not an exciting theme because it's been done a billion times. But the artwork is really nice. They've updated the artwork and components, as I said. They've switched out paper money for like a score track. There is going to be a brand new USA map designed by Knizia, so there will be a little bit of new content in the game. So yeah, exciting if you're a Knizia fan and haven't been able to get your hands on this game. Yeah, so it is $55 right now on Kickstarter, so go back that if you're interested. Alright, that's the news for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to this page. Follow me on social media. I'm at Chris Bryan Games on Instagram and Twitter. And check out my Patreon page, because thanks to my lovely Patreon backers, that's how everybody gets this content for free, which is awesome. Unless you're a Patreon backer, in which case you pay for this content, which is also awesome. Well, more awesome for me. Not more awesome for you because you have less money, but I very much appreciate it. Thank you all for your condolences last week. I talked about at the end of the video, if you missed it, my dad died now 2 weeks ago. And it really does mean a lot to know that there's a community that cares about that kind of stuff, and especially people that were saying that they appreciate me sharing that, because it's always weird to kind of go there. I never know if it's like, why are you talking about your personal life? This is all about board game news, and I only want board game news, and you're a meat thing that is delivering me board game news, or if people care. So thank you for your condolences, and I'm glad that people appreciate that I view this as a community and something kind of, hopefully, a little bit greater than just me talking to a camera by myself in a room, as I mentioned before. I've got some new content that I want to get off the ground. I've been unbelievably busy forever, but hopefully in the next couple months I'm going to have some new content added to this channel beyond just the news. So yeah, not going any further into detail on that because it's still early in my process on that, but wanted to let y'all know. Alright, that's the news for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.